Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the 2026 World Cup knockout rounds, and the United States will face Bosnia in the round of 32. And listen, the last time the US men's national team won a World Cup knockout game was back in 2002 when they defeated Mexico 2-0. And the last time the United States men's national team defeated an European team in the World Cup was also in 2002 when they defeated Portugal in the group stage. So, 24 years later, it's time to break both of those curses. Hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And today we have the ultimate United States versus Bosnia World Cup preview. This is how it's going to go. First, we're going to go through when and where to watch this game. After that, I will go through any news and updates on the US men's national team, their projected starting 11, and how we should approach this game. Last but not least, I will do a deep dive into the Bosnian national team. I watched all of their games in the World Cup. I have a lot of thoughts, and I'll talk about what I think the United States has to do to win this game. And in case you're wondering, yes, the US are the clear favorites to win this one. It doesn't mean we'll win it. I'm going to talk about this later in the video, but yes, we are the favorites. And you may also be wondering, why am I wearing black and not a soccer jacket, jersey? I'm wearing black because I am dressed for Bosnia's funeral. That'll happen this Wednesday. Oh, and listen, I have a little fun fact for you before we start this video. So, Bosnia actually gained their independence in 1992, which means they're roughly 34 years old, right? Ever since they became a sovereign state. And Tim Ream is actually 38. I think he turns 39 soon. So technically, Tim Ream is older than Bosnia. And I know, obviously, they had the Kingdom of Bosnia centuries ago, but I'm talking about Bosnia as an independent state. So our center back is older than Bosnia. All right, before we continue, don't forget to drop a like in this video. Do it right now. It's a great way to support the channel. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And this video is brought to you by Proton VPN. But more on that later. Let's begin the episode. The United States men's national team is set to face Bosnia this Wednesday, July 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the World Cup round of 32. And this game will be played in San Francisco, in California. So if you are in the United States of America, you can watch this game on Fox, Telemundo, or Peacock. And as always, we will be doing a live watch along, a live watch party here on YouTube. We go live 1 hour prior to kickoff, and we stay live for the entire game. And many people are calling this the best US men's national team live stream on YouTube, and I agree with them. Throughout history, these teams have faced each other 3 times. They were all friendlies, and the United States won 2 games, and the other one was a draw. So pretty much that means absolutely nothing. And now we can move forward in the video to what really matters. The United States' projected starting 11, news and updates, and talk about the Bosnian national team, their key players. How do they play? What do we have to do to win this game? But before we do that, you're going to drop a like in this video right now. You're going to subscribe, and we are going to go through a quick hydration break so we make sure we're not dehydrated. We'll be back very soon. Do not go anywhere. The World Cup is here, and you want to watch the games without being watched. And that's why today we are partnering up with Proton VPN. With Proton VPN, you can watch the games with no tracking, no data collection, and your privacy being protected. I mean, we don't want that search history leaking. Essentially, you watch the game without being watched. Also, if you are traveling outside of the United States or out of your own home country during the World Cup, you can use Proton VPN. And that will allow you to access your home broadcasts from the subscriptions that you already have. Some people prefer a more familiar broadcast, so even miles away, it still feels like home. And if you use my link, which is protonvpn.com/tactical, or you can just click it in the description, you will get Proton VPN with a special deal that is valid throughout the World Cup. And this is big. You'll get 50% off if you sign up for 1 month. You'll get 65% off if you sign up for a full year. Now, if you sign up for 2 years, you get 70% off, which comes out to be less than $3 a month. Again, go to protonvpn.com/tactical to get those special offers. Thank you very much, Proton VPN, for sponsoring the channel. Okay, so the first thing I want to go through is the projected starting 11 for the United States. Now, we don't really have to go through the group again. We topped our group with Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey in it. I've talked about that way too many times. We won the first 2 games. We were dominant. We played well. Against Turkey, we rested every player except for Weston McKennie, and we lost 3-2 in the last minute. So I'm not really going to dive into that. let's talk about the projected starting 11 to face Bosnia. We'll talk about Bosnia here in a second. So I think the lineup will be the same one as the first game against Paraguay. Okay, Christian Pulisic wasn't available for the second one against Australia, but I don't see why Pochettino would change this. Right, it was a team that played very well. That was our best game, and Paraguay ended up advancing. Paraguay is a very tough team to score against. Just think about it. Turkey didn't score in Paraguay, and neither did Australia. Okay, but we scored 4 with this lineup, and I see a lot of similarities when it comes to Bosnia with Australia and Paraguay. There's a lot of similarities of how they will approach this game. So for the United States, we play with Matt Freese on goal. Turner was against Turkey. Not terrible, but the dude just didn't make saves, so he's not starting. Ream, Richards, and Freeman will be back. That's going to be good for us because McKenzie and Miles were abysmal. Dest on the right wing back, Anthony Robinson on the left wing back position. Tyler Adams and Tillman in the double pivot midfield. Pulisic and McKennie as the two attacking midfielders that they can drift wide, look like wingers at times, and that's how we're going to play. Now, our offense, and Balogun up top, I forgot about that. Now, our offense has been very fluid, and unlike the Berhalter era, we actually create through central positions, through balls, crosses, out wide. It's been quite good. And I think when we are in possession, very often the way the United States plays is Anthony Robinson pushes high up the field, Tillman goes a little bit higher, right? Tyler stays here to protect the back line, and then what happens is Freeman also pushes a little bit high. So we look like this even in possession when we have the ball. So as you can see, Ream is covering for A-Rob. You can see that on screen if needed. Tyler Adams is kind of just covering everything, right? But probably more here on the right. But Freeman sometimes even pushes higher up the field. Freeman does push high up the field. And you may be saying that's going to leave us overly exposed on the counterattack, which is not true. It is not true. The reason it's not true is because we overload the offensive field so much, and we've done that in the first few games. Let's talk about the first 2 games, right? Paraguay and Australia. When we lose the ball, we have so many guys high up the field that we create complete and utter chaos on our counterpress. That's what's been holding us, and that's why we haven't been so badly exposed in transition. Also, the fact that the opponents we faced, they didn't have that much quality up top to counterattack us. Bosnia, in that sense, is similar. They do have players that can punish you, but they're not France. They're not Spain. They're not Brazil. They're not, honestly, even Belgium and Senegal, right, when it comes to offensive power. So we do play like this. So when we lose the ball, we're just counter-pressing the living crap out of any opponent, right? But very often in possession, we'll look like this. And Tillman will drop deep. He'll come back. Pulisic will go wide to play on the left wing, come back. Against Australia, Pulisic wasn't available, so Pepe was playing more or less the role that Balogun's playing, and Balogun had more freedom to roam, and that's how we even scored the first goal, right? It was Balogun occupying that space down the left, but ultimately our offense is very fluid, and this is what our team will look like, the starting 11. I am pretty convinced that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to play, and the key here for the United States is when we lose the ball, we play exactly the same way we did against Paraguay. We counterpress them so much that they simply won't have the quality to actually bypass the press. And then they're not going to be able to be dangerous on a counterattack. Now, let's talk about Bosnia then. Since we're going into this, let's talk about Bosnia a little bit. And then we can close the video because I talked about how we should play, and I said we shouldn't adapt entirely to Bosnia. We should play the way we played against Paraguay, and I think that's what Pochettino will do. So Bosnia in the first game, they tied Canada. Second game, they lost to Switzerland 4-1, and then they beat the almighty Qatar 3-1. So against Canada, they scored off a corner on a set piece. Against Switzerland, they scored actually a beautiful goal. It was a rebound off a corner, a one-hit shot, beautiful shot they scored. Against Qatar, the first goal was a long shot. The second goal was a lucky own goal. The Qatari player hit it against his own net. And the third goal was actually on open play. The third goal, the only real open play goal they scored. Well, I guess long shots also count. This team struggles to create. Okay, this team struggles to create Bosnia. I'm going to bring up a statistic here for you guys. It's their XG, the expected goals. For anyone that doesn't know, expected goals is an advanced analytic that essentially measures how many goals you are expected to score based on the shot creations and chances you've created throughout the World Cup. Okay, so as you can see, surprisingly, Canada's number 1 on expected goals. Obviously, that's due to the Qatar game. Okay. But then Brazil's in second, Germany, Belgium, Turkey is in fifth. So it looks like Turkey had an issue scoring goals, but their expected goals is pretty high, 6.5. A lot of that probably came against the US. But if we scroll down, we keep going down, we're going to find Bosnia. Where's Bosnia on there they are. 39 out of 48 teams. Bosnia has a 1.9 expected goals in the group stage. And they scored 5 goals actually on a 1.9. So they overperformed their XG, which is not normal to overperform it by that much. What does that tell us? They maybe got a little bit lucky with some of those finishes. Yes. Because Bosnia is like this. They're a little bit of like set piece merchants because they're the tallest team in the World Cup. Okay. We do have to watch out for set pieces. We don't want to give away silly free kicks or set pieces and corner kicks, right? In general, they have overperformed their XG. This is not a team that creates a lot. They're mostly long shot merchants and set piece merchants. That's how they score most of their goals. Okay. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Okay, guys. So what do I mean by that? We should be able to hold a clean sheet against them. If we do a good job counter pressing and we just do a good job defending set pieces, we should be fine. They are one of the worst teams when it comes to expected goals in the World Cup, right? They're 39. And if you look at the knockout team, so look at here, who's worse than them? Jordan, Panama, actually they're tied, Qatar, Uzbekistan, Iraq, Curacao, Saudi Arabia, Paraguay, and Tunisia. So only Paraguay out of the knockout teams has a worse expected goals in the group stage than Bosnia. The same Paraguay we beat 4-1. That is the first thing. Now, you may be wondering, well, Bosnia's defense must be rock solid. Let's look at their expected conceded goals, their XG conceded. So Spain is the lowest one. Mexico, that's been incredible on defense, 1.5. Let's find Bosnia here. So the expected conceded goals. Then there it is. Bosnia is actually very close to the United States at 4.1 expected conceded goals. The United States is at 3.9. Now, mind you, a lot of that from the United States came from the Turkey game. Okay, so the expected goals conceded for the US is actually significantly smaller than Bosnia. And they're around 30, dude. They're around 30. So they're also they're on the bottom half of the defenses as well when it comes to expected goals conceded. And they conceded 6 goals in the group stage, 4 of them against Switzerland. They conceded a goal to Canada. They conceded a goal also to Qatar. What's the point I'm trying to make here? This team will defend like hell. We do need to respect them. I mean, they beat Italy on penalty shootouts. But it's not like they have the craziest, best defense in the World Cup. They don't. That's the truth. They really don't. Their defense is okay. They have conceded goals. And their offense actually doesn't create much. Now, I'm not disrespecting Bosnia. I'm just telling you the facts here. I watched all 3 games. Okay. The Canada game, I actually watched twice. The Canada game. I watched it twice. And I watched them against Qatar, and I watched them also against Switzerland. This team struggles to create. And also when it comes to defending, they're okay. Like, this is not the best defense in the World Cup. I want to make that clear. So what's my point? Is it going to be tough? Yes, because they're going to try to grind out a draw here. They're going to fight hard, and they're going to play hard. And they do have quality players that I'm going to talk about right now. But we have to win this game. We can't just go here, hold hands, and sing Kumbaya and just kind of talk about, like, no, we need to respect the opponent, so we can't say that. We can't say we're the favorite. We are the favorites, but that doesn't mean you're going to win the game. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You do have to go out there and perform. And if the United States men's national team does not perform, we will lose. That'll happen. But again, we just have to call it as it is. We are the favorites. We're better on offense. We have a better defense than them. Much better midfield that I'm going to talk about that in a second. So we have to win this game. There are simply no excuses. We're also playing at home. So let me click here on Bosnia versus Qatar. Mind you, Qatar actually created some chances. Qatar just also couldn't finish, and the Bosnian goalkeeper made some saves because Bosnia actually created a chance. Like the XG for Qatar and Bosnia, actually Qatar beat them. They even beat them. I didn't know that. They even beat them. But let's go through Bosnia's starting 11 against Qatar. So against the U.S., I think one change from this lineup that they're going to make will be the center back position. They didn't have this center back right here. I'm sorry if you're from Bosnia and I mispronounced their name. Do not try to bully me like you guys bullied the reporter from LA. It's not going to work. If you bully me, I'll double down and I'll bully you back. I'm not going to apologize like she did. It'll be much worse if Bosnians try to bully me. So his name is Tarik Muharemovic. Okay, he's a very good center back. Played for Sassuolo in Italy. Okay, very good center back right here, left-footed center back. He's going to be back in the starting 11 for them. And as I said again, they're the tallest team in the World Cup. Now, the lineup on its own, I think it's going to be mostly the lineup we saw against Qatar. The only thing that I'm questioning here is the wide player. So they have another player, I might butcher his name, Alaj Begovic. To me, he's one of their best players. That's a very young wide player that they have. Where does he play for? I forgot. He plays for Salzburg right now, RB Salzburg. I believe he's on a loan. 18-year-old, left midfielder, left winger, very good player. Scored a beautiful goal against Qatar. Was it Qatar? Did he score against Switzerland also? Hmm. No, I don't remember. And then they have also the Bosnian American Esmir Bajrakterovic that was developed in MLS, 21 years old. He plays for PSV. I don't think they're going to start both of them against the United States. They could, because if they have both of them out wide, they'll be able to counterattack the US. So maybe they'll try that. Maybe. But I think they're going to try a more conservative option so they can try to defend more and try to hold on and drag that 0-0 draw for as long as they can in the game. The longer the 0-0 draw drags on, the better it is for Bosnia. That's one of the concerns I have for this game is the first half ending 0-0. We need to get the lead in the first half. That'll open up Bosnia a little bit in the second half, and that's where we can get our second goal. That's where we can get our second goal and kill off the game. So we do need to get the lead in the first half. Definitely don't want Bosnia scoring first for sure, but I also don't like the result dragging on for too long. Now, a few other notable players. They have Jenko up top, very experienced. He's 40 years old, so he's even older than Tim Ream. But again, quality center forward, very dangerous, experienced. You have to watch out for Jenko. Demirovic, the other forward they have right here, number 10, that you guys can see, plays for Stuttgart. He had double-digit goals in the Bundesliga, so he's a quality player that if you leave him open, you give him time and space, he will punish you. Okay, and another experienced player they have is Kolasinac. Kolasinac. You guys probably remember him. He was the left back for Arsenal. You guys probably remember him. So they have experienced players, but they're also, even with these old guys like Jenko, like Demirovic, right? Well, he's 28. He's in his prime. Kolasinac. I think that's how you pronounce it. 33. They're actually the youngest team out of the European teams in the World Cup. They have a lot of good young players, right? A lot of players that start for them are in their prime, 28, 29. This is a young right back right here, Malik Alahibegovic. He's only 18, and he's a tremendous player, big talent from Bosnia. Their goalkeeper plays for St. Pauli in the Bundesliga. They got relegated, actually. They got relegated, so probably a slightly below average goalkeeper in the Bundesliga. My overall point here is the United States is more talented. We play at home, and we have been performing better in the World Cup. Not winning, there are no excuses here for not winning. No excuses. And to me, the biggest weakness of this team, their defense can be solid, right? The back line. The goalkeeper's fine. The forwards, they'll be dangerous. The players out wide, whoever's starting there, they're also solid and very talented. The midfield, here's what I didn't like in the group stage. Basic, Sunjic, I don't know who they'll play there. In the group stage, I thought their midfield, they usually play a 4-4-2, looked very, and I'm trying just to be honest here, looked very mediocre. Like Tyler Adams, McKennie, Tillman right there, miles ahead of those players. I swear, I'm not trying to downplay them or disrespect them. Our midfield is like 10 times better than theirs. It's not close. So, guys, that's my breakdown of the Bosnian national team. I am only going to be concerned about this game if the first half ends 0-0 and it starts to drag on. That's my big concern. If we can score in the first half, in the first 45 minutes, the earlier the better, I have close to zero concerns about this game. This is a team that struggles to create. Their defense is okay. They play hard and they're big. It's going to be hard to score on set pieces, but it's not something their defense is worse than Australia. Their defense is also worse than Paraguay. Okay, just to say that. But anyhow, let me know your score predictions in the comment section down below. My score prediction for this game is United States 2 or dos in Bosnia 0. 2-0 win. We advance to the round of 16 where we will play Belgium or Senegal. But again, first things first, let's beat Bosnia. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the live watch along between the United States and Bosnia. And I'm going to repeat this once again. Let's respect Bosnia. They're a tough team to beat, but let's also call a spade a spade. We are the favorites, and we should 100% beat Bosnia at home. Will it be easy? No. But again, we don't have to lie about it and say, hey, this game can go either way. It could, but we are the favorites, and we should demand a win. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go right now. And that's all for today. Have a great day.